Very good day, watchers, and welcome to another totally flawed film review today. Today, I'm actually thought to myself, I haven't done this for a while now. I want to review all the films that I've watched from the Wrong Turn films, all 6 films. I'm watching the first one tonight. It's been a while since I last watched it. You know what? It's such a fun horror film. I'd say it's an underrated horror film, Wrong Turn. It's the 2003 film. I've been watching this tonight, and it stars Alicia Vikander, I pronounce the name. It stars Desmond Harrigan, Elisa Dushku, Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I like her actually. She's a good actress. She's great in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Jeremy Sisko, and some of the characters. And it's kind of similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's a fun movie to watch. It's violent and it's nasty, but it's fun. It's a 2003 film, like I said. I think I said that. So it's almost 20 years. Crazy. And of course, there's a new one coming out with the same name, but it's called 2021. No, it's called Wrong Turn, and it's coming out this year. And I think it takes place after the original movies, which I'm glad. I just don't like when the reboot films have the same name, because the original one is such a good film, and I'm glad I think it takes place after the original ones, which I'm glad, because they don't really need to reboot the films. Why can't they just do sequels that have come back on cinema? Because the films are good, and she's great in it. But she looks great. And so anyway, and I like the fact that at the beginning of the film you see a character, this guy driving. He's driving somewhere, right? And of course, and it's a massive place. It's like almost like middle of nowhere. There's it's got forests and stuff like that. Of course, he's driving somewhere, right? And ends up crashing into this group of people's car, of course. And that's when all the problems start, because then when you meet these characters, right? These 2 characters that you see in the film, they don't really last that long in the film. The 2 first characters die in the first part of the film, which... So anyway, this is when you meet these kind of like mutant humans that look really quite scary looking, creepy. And what I like about the film, the practical effects are still pretty good. The violence and this film doesn't rely on CGI. So anyway, the film is really fun. I've not seen this film for a while, and I really like it. I still really like this film. So it's definitely a favourite of mine. And she's great. Like I said, I just love kind of like wood horror films stuck in the woods and stuff, and there's some kind of cannibals and shit. It's a fun movie though. It's a fun movie. It's got some quite intense moments in it, especially these kind of crazy cannibal characters in it, like the mutants, and they're not very friendly. Okay, that's why they're not friendly at all. And of course, it's like, and like I said, it crashes kind of this group of people. They're doing something, of course, and of course, 2 of the characters get murdered. Of course, you don't see one character get murdered. You see one character vanish, and then the other character, this girl in there, who follows. It's like her boyfriend or something, and she follows him into the woods because he's vanished. And next week she finds his shoe. Then she finds the ear, and then she gets murdered. Not in the most pleasant ways. The film's got some quite fun death scenes in it too. I was thinking that was a fun movie to watch. It's nasty, but it's fun. It's a fun movie, I'd say. It's a fun horror film. Because I've seen a lot of films that I just didn't, films that I just like, so take themselves seriously and it's just nasty, but this film is fun. It's a fun movie. So anyway, then you meet these kind of crazy cannibals, and of course, they go. I like the fact they find this like abandoned, this house. It looks abandoned, but it's not. And of course, that's when you first meet the characters, the cannibals, because they end up hiding into this house and they're trying to hide because they got the bodies for their friends. And they end up freaking chopping them up while they're hiding and stuff. And it's quite an intense moments, because then they fall to sleep and they're kind of like trying to escape. And then next minute, one of the characters got their eyes open. They're going to go, shit, get the hell out of here. And of course, they end up in the middle of this line with all these vehicles. They think, but then they follow them in after them. The crazy characters, of course. Oh, they come up with a stupid plan. I'm thinking to myself, that is the stupidest plan ever. Completely pointless, because one character goes, I'm going to run this way, and he gets shot in the leg, and you think to yourself, and then the other character thinks, yeah, I'm going to go that way. And he always gets killed. Of course, then so what happens to his character when he's running through the woods, because they end up getting one of the girl and the two guy no the guy and the two girls end up escaping one of their vehicles, and of course the film was fun. Honestly, I'm sitting there going, I'm enjoying this film so much. It's such a fun horror movie, and it still looks pretty good now. And the new one, I don't know, the new one could turn out to be really good, and it's definitely going in my collection of the Wrong Turn films, because these films, because Stan Winston does the practical effects. The late great Stan Winston, who does the effects of Jurassic Park and stuff, and Predator and stuff, and the animatronic. He's just great. The guy was a legend for stuff, and there'll never be another Stan Winston. It's just fantastic, and not a bad director too. He did a film called Pumpkinhead. Have you seen Pumpkinhead? Good movie. Really like that film. So anyway, escape and end up at this like tower thing with these like this radio trying to call in help from anyone. Of course, the problem is the hillbillies, the cannibal hillbillies, what they are, end up finding where they are, and they end up trying to set fire to the the tower, whatever it's called. And of course, they end up jumping through the trees, right, like freaking Tarzan, like jumping on the freaking branches and stuff. And this part was pretty nasty. One of the characters gets killed, another character gets killed, and you think yourself, not a nice way to die. And of course, the girl in it, I think his character, I like her a while. She's great. I actually got a T-shirt, a shirt from, I think it's from Buffer, which she used to wear in the freaking. I kind of hope it wasn't washed, So anyway, so she gets captured by the crazy hillbilly cannibal, whatever you call him, and of course he has to rescue her. And the last part was really good, where he blows them up, and you think to yourself, they must be all dead now. Of course, there's never an easy way around killing cannibal characters, and you know that there's more out there, or there's going to be some kind of like surprise out there when one character survives. The film's good. Like I said, it's an underrated film. It is so underrated. It's like some of the Friday the 13th films that I love, or the Hellraiser movies, some of them, or the Halloween movies that I like, even the sequels that I really enjoyed. It's a shame that they ended them but you know what? They still exist. They're still there. I'm always going to watch them. And yeah, I like the last part with where he's got the gas thing and the petrol one, so the back of the car, and it blows them up. I just love that scene. It's such a good scene. Good practical explosion. It's just great. The film's great. And what I didn't like about it, nothing really. It's just a fun movie. I suppose it's not long enough. It's like 1 hour 25 minutes, I think. So it's not long. It's like 85. It's 85 minutes. So it's like 1 hour 25 minutes. So it's not a long movie, but it's a fun movie. What I liked about it, I like the characters, they're great. I love the creepy ass scenes in it. The death scenes are great. The films are pretty solid, I say, and she's great in it. She's always, she's always watchable. I like to unbuff her, so yeah. So the rating I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5, and of course the next review will be coming up soon. Next, of course, I haven't done it yet, so 4 out of 5 for the first Wrong Turn film, the first one, 2003 Wrong Turn. So okay, next I'm going to review Wrong Turn to Dead End, unrated, of course. I've been watching this today. So anyway, the ultimate reality show turns into the ultimate horror for 6 contestants when they find themselves pitted against hideously deformed and insatiably hungry cannibals in this white knuckle thrill ride that blows away most 2007 horror films. Directed by Joe Lynch, recently named as one of the Gore Zone's top horror directors, and packed with special features including by David, including a commentary by David Lynch, the writers and select cast. Wrong Turn Dead End promises twice the jolts and heart-pounding feel of the first. Retired military commander Colonel Dale Murphy, Henry Rollins, host a simulated post-apocalyptic reality show where challenge to survive a remote West Virginia wasteland, but the show turns into a nightmarish showdown when they each realise that they are being hunted by an inbred family of cannibals and determined to meet them all dinner. We watched this today. Okay, so it's just that reality test show. You meet these new characters, 6 of them, of course. And then you got this like guy who's like he thinks he's Rambo. It's quite funny. So then one of the characters, there's some funny characters in this, but one character he's quite funny, but he does talk a lot. He does say some quite strange things. There's another character, this guy, the military guy says I think you're stronger than you are. But when he says that, you think to yourself, well, maybe she's going to be probably the survivor in the film, and then the film turns itself on there where she gets killed in it. And I thought, hey, hang on, that's interesting. I know what they did there. It's kind of smart. You think she's going to survive. She's the main survivor, but she isn't. So anyway, each character starts to get murdered. This film is quite nasty moments. Two of the characters get like trapped in these trees. Right, they're both like hanging upside down. One girl turns out to be a lesbian, so but you don't only mentioned once in this film, and you think, oh, okay, what was the point of that? And then it's fact with one of the characters that uses a bow and arrow to shoot right through the head, and it goes right through both of them's heads, so they're both connected. That's someone. Film's got some quite disturbing, nasty, very violent in the first one. This is unrated, so it's pretty freaking. I mean, this film doesn't shy away from the violence, and it's not a bad movie. When I watched the trailer years ago, I thought that was awful. The trailer doesn't really do the film justice. I can't remember. I haven't seen the trailer for ages, but I think it was terrible. It made it look worse than it was, but it's a good film. It's not perfect, but it's a fun horror film. And I remember watching it. That film wasn't that bad at all. It's got some intense moments in it. It's got some really violent death scenes in it. Quite disturbing too. It makes the first one look like a K-bait movie. So anyway, I think it's upside down. I'm sure it is. So anyway, like I said, this is a really good film. I really enjoyed it. It's got some decent characters and one character gets like killed on camera, where he actually sees this guy watching him on camera, and he's like tied to the chair, and he gets his head chopped off. It's got some really gross out moments in it. It's got a humour too, and that's what I like. And that doesn't shy away from the violence. Like I said, it makes the first one look quite tame, but the first one is still a better film. But that film is really well done, because that film's got more of a cast in it that you've known, that you know. For instance, that Faith from Buffer. But this one, you got I've seen the guy the guy who thinks he's Rambo. I've seen him before somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah. But it's quite good. I like the fact that he goes all Rambo on it. It's sort of fucking, there's one character, you meet this old guy and you think to yourself, oh, something not right, but something quite right about this guy. Because one part he's cleaning up this stuff on the floor and you think to yourself, maybe he doesn't, because he seems to know who these like cannibals are, these hillbillies, mutated, whatever. But then so it happens where you think, oh, that's who he is. So yeah. So yeah. So anyway, I like that. The film's got some great moments in it, and really good moments in it. But the last part was good when they actually turn up in this like building with all these cars. It's a bit like the first one where they keep these vehicles in a certain era, that the people that they've been murdered, but it's not the same kind of cannibals. And I was thinking it is, but it can't be. There is a house that looks a bit like the first one, but the layout looks a bit, I don't know, it looks different somehow, I don't know. The outside. Compared to it looks more like someone's garden where they did it. So yeah, the part of that I really was quite nasty is the part where this woman gives birth. It's just nasty. This baby that looks like a mutated baby. It looks freaky. I'm sitting there, Jesus Christ. Nasty. So anyway, the last part was really good when they're like, it's a bit like Texas Chainsaw Massacre with all like the girls in the chair and then whatever, and she's got like his things on her hand, tied and he's like barbed wire stuff, and the film is quite nasty. And the last part was pretty good. I do like the last part in this film. It's really good. It's gruesome too, because they've got these like this thing here. I don't know what you call it. This machine that cuts the meat and stuff like that. It's nasty. It's freaking gross. You always see these freaking things at the bottom, always blood and stuff. And yeah, the film is gross. It really is gross. I'm sitting there, Jesus Christ. But I enjoyed it. It's gross, but it's quite something. It really is out there. So yeah. So the rating I'm gonna give this film is a 4.5 because I really liked it. So yeah, right, okay, for the next review now. So yeah, right, my next review is Wrong Turn 3. Been watching this today, this afternoon, and of course, it's it's a sequel to the other Wrong. Okay, right. Right, next review is Wrong Turn 3. Been watching this today. I really like this one. It's a good fun. It's a good one. Okay, right. The blood-curdling horror continues with the footage too shocking for theatres in Wrong Turn 3. Left for Dead. Three Finger and his disturbed family of inbred cannibals are alive and well in this terrifying white-knuckle ride directed by Sci-Fi Channel veteran Declan O'Brien. Cyborg rock monsters. The first course for the bloodthirsty family comes when a group of campers arrive, realise that only too late that that ticks aren't the only thing that bites in these dark backwoods. But when some of the most vicious killers in this country escape from prison transport bus, Three Finger and his family may have met their match. Will justice be served on the convicted murderers or upon the mutant killers? Whatever happens, Wrong Turn 3 Left for Dead delivers one bone-crushing moment after another, right to its terrifying end. Now this film, at the beginning of the film, you see these people rafting on these rafts. Of course, that's where you have to say raft, rafting on rafty, and okay, right. You see these people rafting at the beginning of the film, and you think to yourself, well, these must be the main characters in the movie. Of course, I completely forgot about the fact that they weren't. And the film has a nice little twist at the end. So it's really, at the twist at the end, I kind of forgot about this film. And then I watched it again, I think, oh, I remember it now. Certain characters, actors in the film I've seen before. So yeah. So at the beginning of the film, you see these rafters, right? And of course, three of them gets killed, right? And it leaves the girl alive, because then it takes. Then you meet these further along into the film, then you meet these prisoners who are getting transferred somewhere, and you meet these not very nice characters. Some of them are okay, some of them are not so nice. The guy there's this black guy in it, and he's been on EastEnders and he's been on some films, of course. And then there's another actor in it who's just a decent American accent. Actually, both of them do. They're both one was on EastEnders and one was on The Bill. But with American accent. I think it's the same actor. I'm not sure, because his American accent's not that actually bad in this film. If it is him, it's pretty good. It's been a lot of stuff like 24 and stuff like that, when it was in London. So anyway, the bus gets attacked by the bus gets attacked and it crashes, and of course that's when they start getting attacked by by the cannibals. It's not like a whole family. It's like two of them. Then there's one of them hunting them. And the film's really good. It's got some really quite nasty scenes in it. We're all, certain characters start to get killed off in this film. Then the girl pops up in the film, and she runs into the convicts and the coppers, and the prison person are the other characters. So anyway, the girl runs. So when the prisoners are they're all together, of course. And what happens is that one of the prison driver, no, the driver in it, he gets. So anyway, the prison bus gets attacked by the cannibal. It's got this barbed wire, and it gets tangled into the wheels of the bus, and it crashes. And of course, then the guy in it, convict, the bad guy in it or whatever. He has, he's like a complete, there's like, he's not a very likable guy. He's like, has the shotgun and everything, he has the weapons and stuff, and he keeps telling these people to, you boss them around a bit, not being very nice. And then later on in the film, they find money, and it's like, they find some money. Of course, he's telling them to carry the money and stuff like that. And yeah, it's not a nice guy. He's like telling them, he's like completely bossing everyone apart and stuff like that. And the prison guards and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like not a nice guy, and it's fun to watch because you think to yourself, wonder who's gonna get killed in this, and get his, it's just fun. It's a fun movie. I find these films fun to watch because you think to yourself, I don't know, I just find these movies fun. So, if they are fun movies to watch, they really are fun. So, sometimes it doesn't take itself too slow, but it's a fun movie. I always find it quite, enjoyable. There's another prison, there's quite a few of them in this movie, prisoners, and of course the girl follows with the group of the prisoners and the prison guards, whatever, and of course, the guys hunted them, and some of the certain characters start to get get killed in the movie, and it's quite badly actually, nasty, because he's setting traps in the woods and he's like killing everyone. Not everyone, just certain characters. Of course, you kind of have a feeling like who's going to survive. Who's going to survive? Who's going to kind of. So yeah, it's a really good film though. I really enjoyed it, and the last part was really satisfying because you see where he lives and stuff, and because what happens is the one scene it's a cool scene in this film where he leaves the truck there right now, and this guy in it who knows how to hot wire vehicles, he kind of goes, no, I'm not doing that. It's it's a trap. And it is a trap. He's got like this barbed wire, and he tangles the guy into the barbed wire, and he takes him with him. Of course, that's how he kills him. And he tries something else, but this time he tries to. He looks like he's trying the same trick again. If they're like, you can't be that stupid to actually try that trick again. Of course, then the guy sends out the girl as a kind of like bait. And he takes the girl, and of course the prison guard kind of goes, you know what, I'm going after her. And there's another character that helps him out. And he says, you know what, and there's a bit of a twist about his character. And I was like, oh Jesus Christ, good twist. It had me fooled for a bit. But yeah, really good film. Then when you find out where he lives, of course, he's taken another couple with him. It's like there's copper in it. So yeah, it takes her back to her place. Of course, the guy has to go there and rescue her. And the last part was really good. And the film has like a little bit of a twist that I was satisfied with the end part of the film. It's really well done. Really good. And at the end, there's like another scene at the end is like a bit of a twist where the guard goes back to the van where the money is, and it's a bit of a twist, and I just like that scene. It's a good scene, really good scene actually. Even I was going, gee, oh boy. So yeah, the rate I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5. Really liked it. Good sequel, really good film. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead. Right, my next review is Wrong Turn 4, The Bloody Beginnings. This takes place actually before the other films, from 74 to 2003. The first part is 74, back in the 70s, and then it takes place later on in the film, 2003. And a new chapter on Wrong Turn takes you to the most terrifying place for the beginning, Bloody Beginnings, an isolated sanatorium deep in the West Virginia wilderness is deserted after an inbred family of hillbilly cannibals escape and take refuge on their captors. Decades later, a group of college students seek refuge in the now abandoned hospital after a blizzard derails their plan for weekend winter break. But when the students encounter the medical ward's most terrifying, most frightening former patients, their only chance is to fight back or die trying. Okay, so this is like... This one you got more characters in this one compared to the other ones. And anyway, that's it says on the back here. It says they're on like some kind of like winter break. These friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. And there's like these two lesbians. And they're like, you know. I really did enjoy this movie. It's like I like the fact you see it taking place in the 70s in this that hospital. Then the patients there like escape, and the cannibals like let the rest of the hillbilly cannibals, well, they let themselves all the patients out and start torturing the staff there and all that. And it's pretty nasty, this film. It's pretty violent too, and which you expect from a film like this. It's not going to be PG-13 or anything. It would have been the same if they did that. It really wouldn't. They are fun film to watch. I mean, they're pretty nasty. This one was quite nasty to watch. Certain parts, the guy getting eaten while he's still alive. Like body parts taken off. It's just painful to watch. Really painful to watch. But you expect that in a film like this. And there's some really attractive women, especially the brunette in it is pretty. There's one part of the film. Okay, right. The film takes place in the 70s, and you see the patients that escape torturing the staff. Of course, then the film fast forwards later on to 2003 to meet these like characters, and there's a good scene where there's like a sex scene in it, and there's like a lesbian scene in it, and then this girl walks in, and the other girls are kind of like, you can join us if you want. I'm thinking to myself, when you see you wish a scene would happen in the film and it doesn't happen, you kind of go, oh my god, what was the point of that? I wish, there was a scene, that scene was pretty hot. I was sitting there going, and the guy's like next to him having sex with his girlfriend, right? And he's kind of like, I'd watch that, So the two girls are kind of like, asking the girl to join them, of course. I'm thinking to myself, I'd watch that, bit of a lesbian action, just nice, The girl's really attractive to it, and no, she's not a lesbian, but you wish for that, that scene would happen in the film. So anyway, they're on their freaking break, whatever you call it, and they end up getting lost, and it's snowing and stuff. It's like a blizzard, and they end up at the abandoned hospital, and of course that's when the problem's starting. It's a big place. It's huge. Actually, I was thinking to myself, I'd love to freaking explore that place. Massive, huge place. Then they're going inside and they think to themselves, well, this is the matters. Some of the characters start to explore a little bit this place, and then you know that the cannibals are there somewhere. I've seen this film years ago and I really enjoyed it. It's a good film. It's quite bloody too. So anyway, so after that, they're having a bit of fun at first, and then they find this old film, this reel, and then they watch this film about these patients getting the patients of the hospital, and it's kind of like, and then they start finding files on the patients and stuff, on the inbred cannibals, whatever. And you think to yourself, what, it's not a good idea staying there. And it really wasn't, because one character gets the first character just get killed off the, he gets a thing shoved into his nose and through his skull, and it's pretty nasty. But that he gets off quite lightly, because some of the one character gets eaten alive, tortured and stuff, and it's just nasty. But I watch these films because of that, scares and stuff, and it's pretty violent. It's not like I said, it's not a PG. It's not a kind of film you watch watch with a family. It's pretty nasty. It's got sex, it's got violence, it's got all that stuff, and a bit of lesbian action, which is always the bad thing. Isn't always a bad thing. So anyway, each character starts getting murdered left, right, and centre. Of course, they're trying to leave the place. Of course, they can't because the things have been sabotaged. The snowmobiles, the snow vehicles that they got there from there to A to B, and of course, then you start to see more of these cannibals. There's like 3 of them in the hospital, which is odd because I thought it was more than that. I thought there's more patients. Well, I guess they just went off somewhere. Not sure what happened to the rest of the patients. But there's more patients, but then there's like only 3 of them, and that's the cannibals. I thought. So they think, let's stay behind this place. So yeah, pretty nasty film though. It's definitely not a film you're gonna watch with your family. So let's watch that. It's a family movie. It's really nasty. Of course, it's what's rated 18 for. So yeah. So anyway, like I say, each character gets killed off the bar. The place is quite big. I mean, I'm like, oh god, I'd love to explore that. It's a great place. It's probably haunted too. Wouldn't surprise me. Imagine taking a Ouija board, then it's, you know, it'd be pretty freaky, but at the same time, kind of exciting. I'd be excited if I went to an abandoned bloody hospital. Creeper, love it. So anyway, they sleep there, right, which is creepy. They sleep in the patient's freaking beds and stuff, and it's kind of like, okay, creeper. Like I said, each character gets killed left, right, and centre, and of course, and not in the most pleasant way. Like, there's one part where a character gets killed because he gets like his bag over his head, and the characters kill him. Of course, they don't realise it's one of their friends in the group. Of course, I was kind of thinking that was why the hell would one of the cannibals just pop out from nowhere, put a bag over his head, and start freaking, you know, seems a bit. But they are clever. These cannibals are pretty clever, and the last part is pretty good. So like I said, it leaves quite less of the friends now. There's like a few of them left, so they have to escape from the cannibals, and of course. The torture scene was probably the most nasty scene. One of the characters is getting cut. You know, his chest is getting like freaking cut and all that, and they're like boiling and stuff and whatever. It's nasty. So yeah, the last part was really good. The finale, I like the last part of the film. Really unpredictable, and then I'd say it's unpredictable because it doesn't leave many freaking people left in this film. So yeah, the last part was pretty good. So yeah. There's another character that goes off and tries to get help, but then she freezes to death. So you think yourself, what was the point of that? She might have just stayed out the. They made a huge mistake in this film. They could have killed the cannibals, but one of the characters says, "You're better than this. You don't need to kill these." And that was the biggest mistake they made in this film. They never finished them off. They had them in these like jail cells, these cells, and she's kind of like, "Don't kill these, don't kill him." And then he makes a mistake by falling to sleep, and then he gets freaking, taken by the cannibals. So it kind of like goes from that scene that you think yourself, they made a huge mistake. So yeah, but they made a huge mistake in the film. So yeah, and the last part was really good. So yeah, so the rating I'm gonna give it to this film is a 4 out of 5. Wrong Turn 4 gets a 4. I really enjoyed it. It's really good. I like the hospital. I really enjoyed it. It's nasty. It's violent. It's quite painful to watch certain parts. But yeah, 4 out of 5 for Wrong Turn 4. Right, the next review is Wrong Turn 5 Bloodlines, unrated. I've been watching this today. I really enjoyed it, of course. Doug Bradley, of course, is in this film, and he's always watchable with Pinhead, and he's great in this. I just love his actors. He makes great villains too. He makes great villains. His performance in this is pretty, psychotic. Anyway, the backwoods of West Virginia are deeper, darker, and deadlier than ever in this all-new, unrated chapter of The Wrong Turn. The cutting-edge terror continues when a small town hosts the legendary Mountain Man Festival on Halloween, where crowds of costume partygoers gather for a wild night of music and mischief, but a killer celebration soon give way to a blood-soaked feeding frenzy when an inbred family of hillbilly cannibals trick and treat themselves to a group of visiting college students who are just dying for a good time. So anyway, at the beginning of this film, you meet these characters and who, they're having sex, of course, at the beginning. This is a sex scene. There's like one or two sex scenes in this film, so it's kind of like more sexed up in the series, of course. So anyway, you meet these characters at the beginning of the film. You see these two people having sex, of course. Then you see these like characters, and you think to yourself, "Oh, are these the cannibals in this film?" Of course, it's not. It's not what you think, because it's a prank that these characters put on these sexed up couple, of course. So anyway, and it's a funny scene actually. I was sitting there thinking to myself, "Hang on a minute, is this already start off with a kill in this film?" Of course, no. It's just a prank. Bit of a spoiler, but it's like a 2012 film, so it's not. So it's not a new film, boys. So anyway, the film is pretty freaking gory. I love that cover, by the way. It's pretty badass. It's cool. So anyway, so you meet these new characters, these friends, of course. It's like a festival. It's this festival thing. So anyway, Mountain Man Festival. So anyway, thing about these cannibal, these like hillbilly, they can actually blend in with these other people because they've got like freaky faces, and some of the people wearing like masks and stuff. So it's kind of like impressive, of course. They look quite realistic. So anyway, so they can blend in with the other characters. So anyway, you meet a character, this woman running through. I think it's a news report, but she goes like running. It's like news reporter or whatever. She's like, she's like, she think you want to go out freaking run. I think it's the same character because she's like, she's reporting. Then you meet this other character, it's like female character. She's like, so anyway, you meet this character. She goes like jogging, of course, and then she meets one of the hill. You think yourself, well, maybe she first of all she thinks it's fake because she think, oh, she's had enough. She's like, she starts running again. She meets one of the, then she meets another one of the killers, of course, and then she gets murdered pretty badly. Actually, she gets her fingers chopped off. No, she gets her fingers chopped off. But then she runs and she runs into Doug Bradley's character, and you think yourself, oh, he's helping her out. Maybe he's all right. Then, then he has his own agenda. So no, he's completely nuts in this film. Doug Bradley's character is kind of, he's just evil, full stop. I like his character though. He's evil, but he's actually quite fun to watch. He's always watchable in these films, horror films and stuff. And he's a good actor too. He's a really good actor, and he's just psychotic, but it's fun to watch. Pinhead, iconic. He's such a great actor. He's actually on one episode of The Bill, and I was like, you watched years, was it 1992, about 92 was on The Bill. And I was sitting there, I remember watching The Bill, I think, oh my god, that's Doug Bradley on The Bill, and I thought, Jesus Christ, awesome. So anyway, so when you see his character, introduces his character, you know he's not a nice guy. At first you think yourself, oh, he's helping her out, and then so it happens, and okay, maybe not so nice character. So anyway, something happens where the characters at the beginning of the film, they almost run him over. He's like laying on the ground. Of course, you know that he's not been. You know he wasn't here. Of course, he's pretended to be here. And even he's in one of the characters. He was driving. He said even he was like, I didn't even hit the guy. Of course, so anyway, he tries to slash him with the knife, like it's holding. It's up to something. And so when that happens, like they start beating the hell out of him, beating the shit out of him, kicking him and stuff. Not beating the hell out of him, but kicking him. Of course, just in time, the cops turn up, the sheriff, of course, and then they're like freaking putting the gun up to him, and they're like saying, they get arrested, of course, and Doug Bradley's character gets arrested. So it's just a quick review because I've viewed all 4 films. I'm reviewing this one. It's a bit of a rush job, of course. It's today. So it's a nice day today. It's nice and bright. So anyway, when they get arrested, they're put in this like sheriff's jail, of course. And Doug Bradley's character is like threatening the sheriff, saying they're all gonna die. And of course, it's like a drunk guy in Doug Bradley's jail cell, and he's like, you're all gonna die. And then the drunk guy's kind of like, get me out of this. This guy's freaking nuts, the drunk guy. So anyway, he gets released, but of course he's like saying, I should stay behind because this guy's a bit, something not right with the whole situation. So the sheriff, the woman, she's like on her own with the other characters, and of course, she's like, okay, you stay behind, get some candles, because the thing is, character, the group of hillbillies, they cut the lines off by putting these. They cut the lines off, of course. The film was quite gore and nasty, and it's like, Jesus Christ, this film was nasty because. Hate reviewing sometimes. Anyway. Other characters stay behind in just like these motels. They've got like these motels where there's like the other characters, thing is friends. They're like in these motels because they get released. So So they're like staying in the motel, right? And then Finger's character, he's like still in the cell because he takes the blame because he's like in there like, okay, fine. It's just the sheriff releases the other characters, and of course there's like a blonde girl who's part of the group. She like goes to get some food for Finger's friend, for one of friends, and of course then she gets chased by one of the cannibals and killed, and it's quite nasty actually. I was thinking, yeah, that's screwed up. Each character starts to get murdered by these cannibals. Actually, the film's fun. But it can these films can be super gory, but fun at the same time. It's kind of like the Elm Street films. They can be kind of nasty, but fun at the same time. But they're I think I would say they're a lot more gory than the Elm Street films. So yeah, it's a very fun movie. I like the girl in it. It's pretty. I like the brunette in it with the shorts and. there's like a character in this film like a sheriff, and he's like, it's weird. I don't know. So anyway, I'll cut that bit out. So anyway, the hillbillies start to set the sights on the sheriff station, of course. Like I said, it's quite a nasty movie. Nasty. So some of the characters have to stay behind and to protect the station, this sheriff station that they're held in. So like I said, each character starts to get killed. Each character. So yeah, I did enjoy this movie. It's like an hour and a half. This film is, and yeah, I did it. These films you can have fun with, full stop. Like I said, each character starts to get like killed one by one, or there's two of the characters of the group, and they go out and decide to go out, and it's kind of it doesn't quite work out well for both of them, because the hillbillies they don't know how to kill, full stop. It's like actually the characters do look off from the last film. I wasn't because the thing is, Doug Bradley's character does mention the hospital that they was in, and I was like, they are the same characters. I'm pretty sure of that, because there's like three of them in the last film. There was three of them there, and they were a lot similar. I think pretty sure one of the characters is played by a different actor though. I think, pretty sure of that. So anyway, it's pretty nasty, some of the death scenes, especially the get drunk guy kind of like is a bit more sober, but he goes out trying to get help, of course, then using the sheriff's car, of course. Then they put some like, what was it, barbed wire on the road or something. Then the barbed wire, then he ends up driving the car over the barbed wire, and of course then they get hold of him and they put him in this barrel, and they blow the freaking. Then they try cooking him and blowing him apart at the same time. It's quite a nasty scene. I was thinking, going, Jesus God, I don't think I like just stuck in a barrel, being burnt alive. Then nasty, just a nasty scene. The film is enjoyable at the same time. You kind of think, hopefully these guys get their own. The film does have a kind of, not very happy ending at the end. So yeah, the girl in it, the brunette, the very attractive brunette, of course, she's just daft. She starts trusting the guy who's been locked up. He's like saying, "Oh, I just want to go. We just want to go, of course." And I'm thinking to myself, I don't trust this guy, because you didn't watch at the beginning of the film, well, almost beginning of the film. He manipulates. He's very good at manipulating certain characters. Trust. And you notice that in this character, and he does it really well. Doug Bradley is a good actor in this, and he's such a good character, and he's not a nice character, but this character is fun to watch. So my phone went off, I don't know why. So anyway, I'm going to cut this review short and say what I disliked about it. Nothing really. I really enjoyed it. It's a good film, really enjoyable. It's a good death scenes in it, quite nasty, violent, and Doug Bradley's character is really fun to watch. And so what I liked about it, I liked the performances, some of the characters I liked, and the ending part was good. Good death scenes, and it's a fun movie to watch, I would say. So yeah, so I give this film a 4 out of 5 again for these films. It's a good film. It's a solid sequel. It's a good way to. It's a good, it's a good film in your collection. If you like Wrong Turn films, it's perfect. So yeah, so 4 out of 5 for Wrong Turn 5. So yeah. Right, my next review is Wrong Turn 6, The Last Resort, unrated. This film I watched today, and it's brutal film. This is the 6th in the series, of course. There's one more afterwards, but I've not watched that one yet. I haven't got it on Blu-ray yet, but I will find a way to watch it. So this one takes place years after the last one they made, and of course, there's an actor in this film that's been on the bill. If you watch like the bill, there's like an actor on it, who's on that. He plays a copper. He's actually in this. He plays one of the villains in it, and it's interesting. He's got like this American accent. There's another actress. There's an actress on this who is been on Emmerdale, and I watched Emmerdale, but I know she was on that, and she puts like American accent on it. What's her name? Roxanne or something. And she puts this dodgy. The accent's not very good. It's a bit dodgy, but she looks great. By the way, she does have a sex scene in it. She gets nude, and she looks great. So anyway, this takes place after the last film, of course. And of course, you meet these like new characters. Actually, first at the beginning of the film, you see these two, this couple, really attractive girl, by the way. And you know straight away she's gonna look great naked because they're like riding the bike through these like woodlands, right? And of course, they decide to have like a little bit of water, like a what do you call it? Anyways, decide to go this like finger and have sex in. And of course, she gets full on naked and she looks great, I'm sitting there going, I bet she looks great naked. Yep, she does. And of course, they have sex, and then after, anyways, so when they're on the ride back, they ride back through the woods, right, of course. And of course, one of the guys, a boyfriend gets like hit by something. And of course, then he gets knocked off his bike, then he gets hit in the mouth by a bow and arrow by one of the hillbillies. Mutated hillbilly, the freaky things that live in the woodland, of course, the cannibals. And of course, then she gets hit in the face. So of course, the face is like completely, nasty, and of course, she gets killed. The film is pretty brutal, really brutal film. It doesn't shy away from the violence. And of course, then you meet this group of friends and boyfriends, whatever. Of course, one of them's related to someone at this big freaking massive mansion, and huge. I'd love to go there. It's awesome. And of course, the guy from the Bills on there who plays, he's like this arrogant guy who lives there, and he's really arrogant, not very likable at all. And he's less likable later on in the film, because turns out he's hiding some of the hillbilly cannibals there or something. They live around there somewhere. And of course, one of the women who these like old people that live there, like kind of live there. Like it's kind of like a hotel, kind of. So anyway, she gets killed by one of the hillbillies, of course. Then because then he pops up from nowhere and just kind of goes. He knows him. Shareri's like part of that group. And of course, one of the group is related to her, so whatever. It's related to her. Something like it's like a kind of relation kind of thing. It's weird. And his girlfriend's absolutely stunning. There's like a really attractive blonde girl in this. It's really pretty. So she actually plays the main heroine in it, but something happens later on in the film that you think, oh, okay. So, the film has some really nasty, violent. Don't shy away from the. The only thing I noticed about this film, I was watching these people looking at his photos, and they're like blurred out. For some reason, I think it's the film, and for some reason they blurred the screen. I don't know. It's weird. I was sitting there going, some parts ain't blurred out, some parts were. I'm sitting there going, what is going on? I can't see it. You can't see it. It's weird. I'm not sure if they did that on purpose, but it's weird. I was just sitting there, what is going off? Well, that doesn't really ruin the fun of the film. It's fun. It's fun. It's not a nice movie to watch with family and stuff, but it's definitely pretty violent. There's like 3 of the cannibals in it. Then you meet another bunch of people that live in the woodland, of course. So anyway, there's a lot of things that happen in the film. There's a lot of sex scenes in it. I like the blonde girl, like I said, she's very attractive in it, of course. There's like another blonde girl. She's like related to, she's like a brother and sister kind of thing, live out of the house, and you think to yourself, are they related, whatever? So it's kind of like a relation thing. It's weird. And then her boyfriend starts to change more later on. You think he redeems himself, but then he does something stupid. You think to yourself, okay, so he hasn't changed that much. So anyway, a lot of characters get killed in this film, and a lot of surprises and stuff, twists and turns, and the mansion itself is pretty massive. I'm sitting going, that's a big place. It doesn't really do it justice when you go in, because it's quite a big place. So you do see certain parts in the building, not a lot, but certain parts. But it's still a big place inside. And like I said, it's pretty violent. I was sitting going, Jesus Christ, this film doesn't shy away from the violence. There's a lot of running in the woods and stuff, and a lot of deaths. There's another scene where the boyfriend, he goes out hunting with the guy, and then I think that part is where he starts changing a little bit. It starts kind of like, I belong to this family, And the girl in it is just kind of, she's a bit horny in it. There's one part where one of the guys is injured, so she starts trying to kind of, tend to his wounds, and then the girl comes in, the other girl and then they start having and she's like listening to them, those two having sex. It's quite something, it really is. Quite something. Then if you see a sex scene where Finger's character, they find this like secret room where people have sex and stuff, watching and stuff. And so Finger's character, Roxanne's character, whatever her name is, I can't remember her name. She just decides to, her name's there somewhere. I can't see her name on here. I can't remember now. I don't know if that was her name on the show or what. But yeah. It stars Anthony Lott, Chris Jarvis, Aqueta Quella Zal, Sadie Katz and all that. Directed by Valerie Miley. I don't know now. I think that was the name. No, I'm pretty sure it's the real name. So anyway, what happens? Anyway, start having sex, full on naked. She's getting, they're both going at it. I'm thinking to myself, lucky guy, And then they both get slaughtered, murdered. I mean, Jesus Christ. It doesn't shy away from the violence. And then anyway, he gets hit in his head or so, and then she starts trying to have sex with him while he's on the bed. So he's like completely, and she starts trying to have sex with him, then she smothers him after. So he thinks of, God. But he kind of gets it easier. Otherwise the other characters get slaughtered. There's another character that gets this like thing put through his backside. It's like hose. The scene was nasty too. So yeah, the film was nasty. The last part was really good. It was a bit of a thing out there. You think, okay, so the bad guys win at the end. So okay, so yeah, bit of a spoiler there, but it's not really a new film. So yeah, so okay, what I disliked about it, I suppose the only thing I disliked is the fact they didn't bring Finger's character back. What's his name? Doug Bradley's character back from the fifth one, because he's part of that film, and I liked his performance in that movie. I wrote number 5. And I think there's a different actor playing one of the cannibals in it, I think. So they do have a habit of recasting characters. But apart from that, okay, what I liked about it, some of the music was good in it. Some of the performances, not too bad. Some of the characters were good. A lot of sex in it, which is never a bad thing. It's very embarrassing to watch if you watch it with family, but some really good death scenes in it. Really good death scenes. So yeah. So the rating I want to give this, I was going to give this a low rating, but I watched it again and I liked it. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5. So 4 out of 5 for Last Resort. Good mover. It's a good film. It's not perfect, but you know what? It's a fun Wrong Turn film. It's part of the Wrong Turn series. So yeah, it could have been really bad, but it wasn't. It was enjoyable. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for Wrong Turn 6. Really good film. So yeah. Right, my final review is Wrong Turn 2021. This film isn't really... I don't know, it's difficult when you watch this film. It's like, is it connected to the original movies? But it really isn't. I thought it was. More of a reboot, really. But when you hear the film Wrong Turn, you think yourself, 2021, you think yourself, well, maybe it takes place after the other films. But, okay, right at the beginning of this film, right, you see this dad looking for his daughter. I've seen the actor. I can't remember what his name was. He's a good actor. I like his character in the movie. So he's looking for his daughter. His daughter's been like, how long it's been? It's about 6 weeks since she vanished. So of course, then the film takes place 6 weeks before. After when you see his parts of the film, of course, then you meet his daughter and her friends. Of course, are on this like trip or whatever. And of course, you meet some kind of certain characters on the way, and of course end up like in the woods, end up getting lost, turned around, whatever. You meet these characters and they're wearing these school things, so you can't see. And of course, they can disguise themselves in the forest. And of course, one of the characters gets killed. There's like two gay characters, like this really attractive blonde one, and then you got this girl, young girl, of course, this young blonde girl, of course, and she's like the main kind of character in the movie. And of course, really attractive, of course, really attractive blonde girl, and of course, her dad is looking for her, of course, and it explains how they vanished. Then there's this character, this group called the Foundation, not the Heart Foundation, just the Foundation, of course. And they're not very nice people when you meet them. You think at first you think yourself maybe they're not that bad of a group of people. Anyway, when they end up getting lost in the woods, right, forest, in the woods, whatever. One of the characters gets killed by like a tree. I don't know how that happened. You think, how the hell did that happen? It seems a bit fishy. So like this massive tree dropping down the freaking, killing one of the characters. For some reason it just comes falling down and it hits one of the characters, and one of the characters gets completely smashed. His face it just looks, no way to survive in that. Some of the characters get injured, of course. Some of the characters get, one of the. So anyway, there's another character who gets pulled into this freaking hole, and it's like an Ewoks. Remember Star Wars Ewoks with when they got them and those things and one of the characters. You got two characters, but you can't see the faces. The heads are, the face is covered by the skull things. Of course, one of the characters decides to kill him. One of those characters literally smashes his face, and of course that backfire. That haunts him later on in the film when they get captured later on in the film, and he gets freaking completely smashed in the. Because there might be a few spoilers in this video. So yeah, it's a pretty brutal film when you watch it. It's pretty nasty. The guy does a Negan on him. The Walking Dead with Negan smashes the characters' heads in, where he kind of does that to them, and it's quite nasty actually. Jesus Christ. They get captured by the Foundation, of course, and of course they stay there for quite a long time. One girl one of the characters gets his eye fucking burnt out. Really nasty actually, nasty scene. Characters do get killed in this, movie, left, right, and centre, and it's quite nasty to watch. And like I said, it's not really connected to the original ones. I kind of wish it was. I would have heard it if certain characters from that tournament, but there is a mention in this film at the end of the original movies, which I think was funner. Maybe laugh. I thought it was funner. The film does have a slight bit of a sense of humour in it, but it's not like humour all the way through the film. Because these people don't have a sense of humour. The Foundation, they do not have a sense. They're just not. I wouldn't say they're nice people. And of course, they decide to stay there. And of course, when you meet, and then of course, then he goes back on the dad again, looking for them. And of course, he gets beaten up in it later on in the film after when he leaves this bar. And of course, by these people. And of course, there's a reasons for why they did that. And of course, it kind of makes sense later on. You think they're the bad guys, but then there's a bit of a twist. So anyway, so yeah, the film I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I would have thought it was connected to the original films because I really did enjoy them. Fun as heck to watch. Brutal, but they're fun to watch. And I love if Doug Bradley turned up in the movie, which would have been great. That's the only thing I was disappointed about. Was that the fact it wasn't connected to the cannibal films, but there is a bit of cannibalism in the film, in the film. The film is nasty though, it really is brutal. I wouldn't stay there. I suppose the only way you survive is you have to stay there. The only survival. One character does get brainwashed, decides to stay there, kind of thing. I belong here. I'm thinking to myself, why would you want to stay with a bunch of psychotic people, So yeah. The film's good. I really enjoyed it. It's like one of those movies that your first you think it's not connected to those movies, but then when you watch it, I kind of liked it. So yeah, the last part was good. The finale was good. There's one part where she has this kind of she's thinking about something. You think it's real, but then it turns into someone else. and it turns out that she's thinking about it, what could happen if she did that, which was really good. So yeah, okay, the last part was good. I really liked it. I liked the movie. I really did like it. Okay, what I didn't like about it. Okay, let's get that out of the way first. I didn't like the fact it wasn't connected to. There's no cannibals in the film. No hillbilly cannibals. It is and what it is what it is. It's not connected to the film. Certain characters from the original film didn't pop up, and that's the only thing I had a problem with. But it's a separate movie, and it could have been part of the whatever. It still could be when you watch it. You kind of still can connect it to those films. It's another part of the world, so whatever. Okay, what I liked about it, some good performances, some good characters in it. Some good death scenes in it, and good story. I'd say it's a different story. It's a decent story, I'd say. And I like the story about a dad trying to save his daughter. So yeah, the daughter becomes a bit of a badass in it, like Robin Hood, kind of like whatever. She has to use the bow and arrow and stuff. So yeah, the last part was good. It had a good ending to it, unpredictable ending. I liked. So I think the rating I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5 because I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5 for Wrong Turn. So yeah, 2021. So yeah, I liked it. I liked it. So yeah. So many people, that's my last part of the review. Like I said, I had to do them separate. It's been taking like weeks to watch these films. So yeah. So I'm going to go off now. So remember to subscribe to the channel. I've reviewed all films. So yeah, whatever. So have a nice day, have a nice week. Take care, look after yourself, and keep healthy. And see you later. And never take the wrong turn. See you later. Bye.